Hey brother, I hope you're doing well. Wanted to go ahead and start working on Psalm 1:5. Figured, really enjoying going through this, and it's really keeping my skills kind of honed. So let's go ahead and read the passage in Greek. Dia tato uk anaste santai asedes in chryse ude emartaloi in boule dikeon. Dikeon. Let me do that one more time for my own personal. Dia tauto uk anaste santai asebes in chryse ude amartoloi in boule dikeon. Alright, so let's go ahead and go through this how I would normally go. We only have one verbal, so that makes things really easy. And it's anastrasantai, which is, I think I mentioned this earlier, the Greeks like to add a preposition. Ana is our preposition on the front of verbs. So really, this is, strasantai is from stemi, which is to stand. Ana is up. It doesn't always add that up. Sometimes they just add a preposition and make it an intensifier. But let's go ahead and look at this one. So our gloss is to stand up, pull it up in BDAG, and what we have is a nistemi, which is to cause to stand, to be erect, raise up, sometimes by bringing back to life. That idea is cause to be born. Oh, that's interesting. So if we were to parse this verb, we see some, now that I know it's actually from esteomai, we see some reduplication here. I have this as a passive, let me look here, whoops, information. Alright, so it is a future middle indicative third person plural. So we get the future from this sigma here. And the middle is from the tie. Otherwise, I'm not doing a good job at parsing this one, but we can see here that it is future middle indicative third person plural. So they themselves will stand, but we have this uk, which is the negative, so they will not stand. And then the next thing we're going to do is look for the subject of the sentence. Right here, we actually have two nouns that are in the nominative, because we actually have two sections. The nominative that we have, or the subject, is asebis, which we have seen a few times, which, if you remember, is the irreverent, the ungodly. I actually wanted to see, there's another source that I wanted to look at here. So if we go here, the Theological Dictionary is a license, mostly for debauchery, the debauched. This looks like it is the, oh, here we go. Sebomai is the opposite of. So I wonder if we can copy, and I can't even copy it. That's frustrating. But I know I said it was the alpha, so I'm kind of curious to see what Sebomai means. But I can't click on it. But that's interesting. Alrighty. So let's go back here. We'll go back. So the ungodly will not stand. And then we have two prepositional phrases, dia tato and in chryse. Let's go ahead and do dia tato. Dia, so one of the interesting things about prepositions is that it depends on what the case of the noun that they're connected to. So in this case, the noun is tauta, which tauta is a demonstrative pronoun. So this, these, that, those. This one is these. It is a plural for this, tauto, or tauta. And dia is connected to the accusative. Now, I was actually looking at the same resource earlier. If I were to go here and then go to Theological Dictionary, Greek New Testament. So if you look here, we've got dia with a genitive. The genitive is what I have green here. But we are looking at dia with the accusative. Dia is an incredibly common preposition. And I'm going to skip through all this because I'm very positive that we are talking about this right here, on account of or for the sake of. So we could translate this for this reason. Isaac, please stop. For this reason, the ungodly will not stand, the ungodly themselves will not stand in Chryse. So what we have here is in always takes the dative, which is the form that we see here in Chryse. So in a judgment, I think you can translate the judgment, which if we looked at the comparison for most of them, 1-5, therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment. Once again, Greek, like English, has this interesting thing where it's like you will say things that are indefinite, will start off with an indefinite form, and then you'll have a definite article. But things that are so specific, things that are very, very specific, we end up dropping the definite article because it's so definite that it doesn't even need an article. So once again, for an example, I live in a state. I live in the state of North Carolina, but I don't say I live in the North Carolina. North Carolina is so definite that I don't even need any kind of article, and Greek does the same thing. So really, we could translate this as a judgment, but we're pretty sure that this is a very specific judgment that is so specific that we don't even need to use an article. So we could translate, in English, we could say this as the judgment. But maybe for the readers at this time, if you were to say in judgment, just in the same way that I live in North Carolina, I don't have to say the North Carolina because nobody's confused about which North Carolina we're talking about. So let's translate this whole phrase. So if we were just to put subject, verb, and then everything, the ungodly will not stand for these reasons in the judgment. And then we have nor right here, and then we have another plural nominative, the sinners, in martoloi. That one's really straightforward. And then finally, we have a final prepositional phrase, in boule daikion, which I think we have seen all of these words before. There's in boule right there. Have we seen the word for, this is the word for righteous, I'll just tell you it's a super common word. If we have, I guess I'm not, oh wait, no, that's the same verse. So, nor the sinners, and we're going to be using the same verb from before. So this isn't a complete phrase, it's a dependent clause because we're using the same verb. Nor sinners in the counsel of the righteous. So up top, we've got the counsel of the ungodly, but now the counsel of the irreverent, but now we know that they will not stand in the counsel of the righteous. So the poetry, making some very clear comparisons of the counsel of the ungodly and the counsel of the righteous. And we have, are we using the same verb as one? To stand. First one. Okay, here's the verb for stand. Iste. So that's interesting because this is this one is ana estebi. This is just a stronger verb. It's to stand, where this one is sinners will not stand in the way, sinners will not stand. But down here we have and the unrighteous will not stand. They will. It's a much more emphasized verb in the judgment. Nor sinners will not stand in the counsel of the ungodly. So we've got that whole comparison there. So that is kind of that's the rundown of verse 5. Hope you found this helpful. It's super helpful for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. Have a good one, brother.